Hi there, my name is Chris Farah, and welcome to my YouTube channel, where today we'll be doing the live recap of 90 Day Fiance. We are towing it up, it's the other way. And this is season 7, episode 3. And so I'm super excited. Sorry, 4. Ha ha ha, 4. You know what? This is labeled wrong. I realized that. Um, anyway, goodness gracious. Hi, how are you? What's been happening? I certainly hope that you all are doing well. I am enjoying the last day of September. It's September 30th. 30 days, half September, April, June, and November, all the rest 31. Remember this. I feel like it's so funny when you think about the weird rhymes you were forced to know as a kid, like I before E, except after C and such. Um, but having said that, it's definitely fall. Hi, hello. Yay, you're not blonde. Good to know. Oh, yay. I'm just going to take some time to let people come in the room. But how are you? What's happening? Um, as people trickle in, hopefully. The fall time that I'm talking about is what we're knee deep in, obviously. It's the last day. To even consider it being like the last hurrah of a late summer. I am happy about October. Yesterday had the first sort of in my bones desire for a rainy day. There's something that happens like either by the look of the sun or the lighting where then I can start to sort of like sensorily feel I would guess desires and or like sensations, essences of things that are maybe not even actually happening yet, but have the promise to. That sounds so creepy. Sounds so weird, but it's not raining in California. Like it's super, super, I mean, blase. It's like 75 and sort of cloudy, but then it burns out into sunny. It has no reason to make me think of rain, but there was something about yesterday, the light that I thought, oh, soon she will have a soup. Maybe it'll be like a creamy soup with some pieces of parsley like floating around. It's homemade. And there will be the best thing on TV to watch and just the coziest wozies slippers and or like socks on, honey. And I can't wait for it. And yeah, so um yeah, it's finally fall. You're getting the rain and finally got slippers and sweaters out of the bin. Yeah. It's so interesting. Yes. Um, and I'm going to start soon. But I know that people have systems of storing their winter sweaters and jackets. Like I understand that there's like the puffy jackets and such a things that if you get those storage bags and you insert to hose and you really suck it out and suck them down, you can obviously make a lot of room. But it's so interesting, like the household seasonal change schedule and all the little tasks that would have to happen. Um, anyway, I mean, everything is you have to be on top of everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to talk about 90 Day Fiance the other way, but I wanted to bring up two things, which is that does anyone follow the WNBA tonight? Is the playoffs, and no one likes the like the head of the WNBA. Sorry, I'm like, what's her name? Chief? Yeah, the chief. And one of the players just had a full news conference and read out loud a letter that everyone feels about how bad this commissioner is. That's what the person is, commissioner. How all the players are not treated well, how the commissioner like shit talked Caitlin Clark and how like she refuses to pay anyone their worth and just keeps saying like sustainability for the brand and like things like that, and how no one is putting effort into getting good officials to call the games and therefore the players are at risk. I mean, like I thought about it like, oh, the WNBA is having such a great moment to be seen. So I'm so happy that people are speaking out and wanting it to be good, and I think to myself, I wonder how many like male basketball players from the NBA wish they had the gall to do that. I loved it. So we'll see what happens. I am going to watch the WNBA game tonight, which is starting at 6:30, but whatever, I'm going to be late. It's totally fine. Have you noticed though that we are back obviously 45 minutes for the episodes for Toe. And by the way, before I officially start, don't worry, I'll probably start exactly at 6 minutes. Did you guys see that I did a Sister Wives recap with Amy Archer from Little Miss Recap? Please, it's so good. The Sister Wives, obviously, show that I've been obsessed with, premiered Sunday night. And so I got to have Amy on my YouTube. Now, I couldn't do a live recap because we were recording. And so I just made it live yesterday. So go listen or watch. Okay, 6 minutes. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, season 7 episode. Technically, it's 4. I don't know why I wrote down 3. Okay. So obviously, we pick up on the fact that Meline and Luke are running towards a burning building together, hand in hand. And who helped Luke get the building burning? His dad, by giving him $3,000 and being like, yes, go to her. Here's extra money that you don't have, that you keep throwing at this person and lying to this person that you have. And guess what? Money is finite because it doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately, and how I wish it did. Even if it did, though, grow on trees, I would not be a rich person. I kill plants. I can't take home a basil plant. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, so having said that, Luke is hoping to surprise Meline, and he recounts the last time that he surprised someone. And guess what? It was really bad. And by really bad, we get this really sad story about the fact that he tried to surprise his girlfriend and he ran upstairs, and then she was just like entertaining with her, you know what I'm saying? Someone else. And so he was the one that was surprised. Well, maybe everyone was, technically, unless she knew it was going to happen and she didn't want to be with him anymore. And this was her sadistic way of being like, yeah, I'll watch it happen. Because once, you like walk in on that, if you don't want to be with someone, it's like that person probably should break up with you. However, could you imagine a world in which you really wanted to break up with someone, but for some reason you wouldn't do it, but for some reason you had the moral compass or lack thereof to cheat, have that person find you, catch you, and if that person didn't break up with you, what would you do? I want Luke's ex-girlfriend to be immediately found and asked like 1 billion questions. And remember how he talked about his ex-girlfriends in the past, and specifically how he threw money at them too for various ventures that did nothing? Anyway, you really have to give Meline, and I really don't want to give her anything, believe me, but you really have to give her one thing, which is that for some reason, because of the show, but for some reason, she has made beauty. She has made her beauty shop, Made Beauty, into what she says is the only success that man will ever know. And so seemingly she has changed the spelling, or the sign was too dark. It was okay. Not quite, it was a little confusing. So he obviously is in transit to her beauty shop, and he's stopping to get flowers, and we get to see his like basic Spanish. He gets red roses. To me, the most basic flower is like a half dozen red roses. And I feel bad saying that, but there's just something so dated about it. Dated for sure. Like, I know it can't be the exact aesthetic, but I have in my mind, and you can know why because I'm obsessed and whatever. I have the idea in my mind of this certain like 90s romance aesthetic, which is like the 1001 ways to say I love you, and the cursive, and what the lingerie looked like, and what the woman looked like, and what the prostitutes looked like, and what the, like porn stars look like, and what the idea of romance in the 90s, which is very different from it is now. I think I probably wanna probably because I was really young in the 90s and looked at that being like, "Well, I can't wait to experience this wild world of red and silk and, like, love coupons and whatever I thought romance was gonna be. Guess what? Not. Anyway, God bless." And so he Red Roses is a part of that aesthetic to me, and obviously now as a blah, blah, blah woman, I realize that that's not what this world is, it's not really that. So when I see red roses like that to signify like a lover bringing flowers, it just seems so on the nose. It's the most on the nose flower, okay, God bless, and I love flowers, and I love roses, but you can do, like, different colors, whatever, God bless, or change it up with some other flowers in there, just not all one, but whatever. So we jump to Made Beauty, honey, and she just gives us numbers. She's like, "I make 4,300, well, yeah, 4,300 in American dollars a month." And she's doing it all in the sense of she's doing hair, she's doing nails, I'm sure she does eyelashes somewhere. I'm sure she'll rip off a hair somewhere by plucking or by wax in one of the rooms. Madeline has always been Madeline. Like, I maybe should go back and see if I really see a little bit of a quote unquote glow up from season to season, because that happens. And specifically, if this person has A, grown up because she's really young, and also B, if she's gotten into the beauty industry. But surely she definitely has long ass nail extensions that are going to come back to just horrify me and you in mere moments. Don't worry. And extensions, and the extensions are, well, they make the Mormon wives extensions look well blended, look natural. Anyway, God bless. But one thing about this scene, because it's not about my commentary about it, and by the way, I'm happy she's making money, obviously, is that we get a really great bit of information about her relationship with her mom. We talked about her mom before, but basically now her mom is coming to get her nails done at her very successful business establishment that she has done by herself. And we know that she has been rebellious in her past, that she ran away, they had ups and downs, but she, in a kind of, s- I mean, in a telling way that's very, biting, she says, "It's funny now because my mom didn't ever want us around. And look where she is now. Made beauty." You know what I'm saying? You're just like, "Yeah, girl, that sucks." She's like, "Yeah, mom," quickly, "worked a lot or whatnot, but obviously she felt a certain type of way, neglected, abandoned, not wanted. And, maybe some of this over the top kind of like beauty vanity situation is a way to get attention, the pageantry specifically." Her mom, like I said last episode, is like wildly beautiful. Like, what a face. And she, in this episode, also says that she's like really proud of her daughter and stuff like that. But I wonder what else lies beneath, because if they're so young and they're both so, like aesthetically focused, that sometimes I wonder if there's going to be like some competition and jealousy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wonder. Hi. So, anyway, yes. So, he ends up driving right, well, of course, with the taxi, right to the beauty shop, honey. And he pops in. Of course, the mom's there. What great timing. And he's like, "Are you happy to see me?" And she's like, "No." Now, of course, you have to also know that she has blocked him of recent because he has not been either forthcoming, he hasn't been either easy to deal with or open or whatnot with the finances for the wedding because he has no money. And that has made her upset because she's doing all the work to plan her own dream wedding, that he's not like giving money at the moment that she asks for it. And so he has now, of course, come here and he gets like a kind of pouty Madeline, but then she quickly lets that melt away and she's like overly excited. And she gives us the classic Madeline and Luke greeting of just kangaroo hug to mom, like legs around a person, like heels interlocking, stiletto on stiletto on that man's back. So then after, a very happy introduction or greeting, they get right to the fucking bullshit, which is that he doesn't have the money and she has to pay the wedding planner. And she's like, well, great. Now that you're here, and surprise, surprise, just convenient timing that I absolutely have a wedding planner meeting later on tonight. So now you're here. You can like listen and ask the questions you want to ask, like directly how much money it is. I refuse to answer that. So this isn't like we're at this point led into a gray world, honey, like a misty cloud, if you were, of like, what the hell's happening and who's what? Because obviously we can't trust anyone here. Not anyone. And we don't. And we don't. It's like Superman pointing at Superman in the sense of who's everyone here is a conning kind of fraudster that wants to be cool, that wants to have a certain aesthetic. He does too. She does too. I can't imagine that she has, and I have seen it, the emotional intelligence to not be completely excited about money in the way that she seems to be in the vain sense of it. So I don't know how much she loves him, but I definitely feel like she loves money. And I don't know how much he loves her, but he loves feeling not like a broke loser that can't get a girl to wrap her legs around him. So both of them get something, but we just don't know how long it will last, It's like a rainbow. It came together through certain conditions, and we're watching it right now, and it's certainly magical, but we don't know how long it's going to last. So basically, she and him get to their house, and we're like trying to look and see, like, is this a condo? It's like a big wooden door. Of course, her dog's there. She's like, I have to do pee really bad. We're like, yes. Now, one thing about Madeline is that she is talking like English the whole time, and I'm so proud of her. Like, that sounds condescending, but it's gotten better. That's one thing. If I don't know whether she's like logistically grown up in a beauty sense, I think that she always had the same extensions. I don't think they've gotten better, in the same nail extensions. Like, almost like, I don't know if it's like changed that much. Her English has gotten much, like, you can tell that she's in classes. She speaks really slowly. She's trying to like work on pronunciation. It's really hard. So that's what I mean by that. I feel like, about the thing about her and him is that no one that watches them for too long, who has to put their money on one of these ponies, would put it on him. You put it on her. So then we meet. And by the way, I'm not happy to report what I'm about to say in the next scene. We meet her wedding planner, who is named Lazona, who also is her pageant coach. And we've been knowing that she's gotten into pageantry because she wants to show the world how you can also be beautiful and smart. Beautiful and smart women, both at the same time. We contain multitudes, both beauty and intelligence. So not only Lazona, the wedding planner and the pageant coach, she's also her dress designer for, I'm assuming, the pageants and her wedding. Lazona has, a monopoly on certain aspects of womanly stuff in this town. I'll be honest, I love this for Lazona, and I love this for lots of reasons. Because the Lazona character is, and I'm almost like an all-knowing fortune teller style character that can come with like a wise mind and deliver what has to happen to people who can only do nothing but listen. Because Madeline is under, her tutelage and is younger than her, and Luke is dumb. So basically, we try to piece together financial things, which is never fun. So now this is just like a bunch of cash, basically money numbers. Luke is like, the original budget that we talked about was $12,000. And so as they start to talk about the fact that there is obviously money that hasn't been paid, we don't know exactly for what or why or how much, as Lazona tries to like calculate that up, Madeline gets nervous and at this point goes to the refrigerator and then gets she gets a carton of Nutella and then uses her fingernails to scoop the Nutella from the jar and lick it. Lick in every part of her nails, the Nutella, both. And we've been watching the entire time her touch her hair with her nails because it's like long ass extensions that aren't blended well. So they're getting caught and they're two different synthetic fabrics. They're just like, so everything at this point is so that it's almost suspicious. Like these are the moments where I'm like, is this the fucking producers being like, I know this would be disgusting. You should go get that Nutella and use your fingers, use your like nails. Like only because I wonder this. If Lazona wasn't a pageant coach and training her listen, I've never done pageantry, but wouldn't that require one to be like, oh, no, we don't do that. No, 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 no. Get a spoon. Get a used popsicle stick. But we don't do that. There's no way you're going to win any sort of beauty pageants with them brown nails, the nails underneath. It's really revolting, obviously. Horrible. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes the producers of the show give us these like red herring visual moments that we are forced to pay attention to throw us off track because they are so upsetting and jarring. So that is what happens, and we have to like watch that, and like it's horrible. Not that I was ever going to go to her beauty place, but you can't own a beauty place and do nails and do that kind of thing. You just cannot. Listen, not on TV. Sure, honey, later at home, get a carton of Duncan Hines and dive into buttercream frosting if you must. And if there's nothing there, no one will see it except for Luke, and he doesn't care. He'll do it with you. He loves anything you do. He's like, can I look it off of you? Basically, we find out that they owe $4,000. So he gave the $12,000 budget and they owe $4,000. And then we get a really boring back and forth over a specific payment that happened in December over the dress. And it's supposed to be like Luke being like, I thought you would say this, so I brought the bank account to show you that I sent this payment here and this payment here. Lozano, this is what you said. And then him sort of being like, well, if I sent it and I sent it, I'm sorry, if I sent it and I sent it and Lazona, you didn't get it, that means Madeline, that I don't want to point fingers, but you haven't been honest. You haven't been keeping your records. And she's like, no, bitch, I have my fucking receipts too. And this payment was for the dress. And this payment that was supposed to be for something else that you're saying was for the wedding, it was for rent for this weird brown wooden doored condo that me and my dog live at, whatever, God bless. So it's like they point fingers at each other, like, God bless, like I already said, Superman. And finding out like who really was at fault, I would love to know what you guys think, because I personally feel like they left it being like it's Luke's fault, that he had blamed Madeline for not having his money right. But as Madeline has already told us at the beginning of this season, he's the one that's shitty with money. And she's, in fact, really great. We're supposed to believe that. She's 21, but okay. You know what I'm saying? And maybe things are relative. That's how bad he is with money. I will be honest. So far, we've seen two scenes with two sets of parents, and one parent was giving $3,000 to their kid, Luke, and one parent was getting nails done at the establishment by her daughter. Now, do you think Madeline makes her mom pay for the nails? Madeline's doing her mom's nails, so no. Okay, so basically, they find out that they obviously. Okay, so basically, after that whole debacle, he's like, I have $3,000 from my dad or whatever. And so they quickly do math again. What a horrible scene, and realize they have 1,000 not to be accounted for. And at one point, he's like, Lazona, I only have 3, so is that gonna do it? as if he's at a bazaar, as if he can like contend and negotiate with someone who's like, yeah, I'll give it to you for like 1,000 less. But mm, if we believe at face value what we know, and obviously me speaking from like my place as an American citizen, a wedding planner is just the purveyor of relationships to craftsmen's goods services that do wedding work. And so that she has to get all the contracts together. She can't negotiate the price. She just gets a good price and then tells you, you say yes. And then she, like, obviously puts everything together for you. Now, people on the Reddit streets are like, what do you guys think? Do you think that Madeline and Lazona have like a little side hustle going where they were like, yeah, listen, we want you to have a really great dress for that Miss Congeniality pageant. I mean, I had to pick something out of thin air. And why don't we just tell Luke that we need money, blah, 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 and you and me and me and you? Or is one of them like skimming off the top? It's also interesting. And I also want to know, is Madeline putting any money of hers into the wedding? Like from the money that she makes off the salon. Now we don't even know if the 4,300 she makes was after taxes and after she pays everyone and supplies, or if that's just the gross. But let's just say it was what she leaves with at the end of the day, which is great. Is she just making that to buy an investment property? And is she just letting him put on her own dream wedding without one red cent being involved? Like, I love that for her. And in this moment, though, when they're only 1,000 off, he wants so badly to be given like a Hail Mary pass, right? And wants so badly for her to just cut one thing, the helicopter, but she won't. She's like, how fucking dare you? You have lied from the very beginning. You said you were going to move here. You said you're going to move here. You never did. You're like, not here yet. You like 6 months, 2 months, 5 months. You promised me my dream wedding and you've had a year to make money. So where's your fucking money? You fucking deal with this. And Luke is going to. And he's going to. That period, obviously. It's not, I mean, I if she gives $1,000 of her money, I wonder what she would hold over his head about it. And I would hope it'd be a lot, which is like whatever the fuck she wants to do for the rest of her life. Let's go on to Manan and Anthony. Oh my goodness. So they obviously arrive in Marseille and at her grandparents' house. And this is not the house that she grew up in. This is like they obviously size down, which is totally fine. And it seems like a normal kind of like condo-y kind of house, like a smaller, but like beautiful, like, easygoing home or whatever. She, of course, is like, it's like a can of sardines. I don't know why I give her the accent. She obviously has a French accent. I can't do a French accent. So there you go. Her sister Ari is there, and at one point in French, she's like, "Oh, you're happier to see Anthony." And low key in my mind, I'm like, "Well, babe, everyone in your family is happier to see someone else besides you that you came with. Like your mom, obviously, is over the moon, and she should be, with being able to see baby Ben. I mean, truly. But yeah, um." Anthony gets another soundbite of he's just happy to be there because it's rent free. So who cares if it's a can of sardines? Now they have to put all of their stuff in, of course, in one room. They're all staying in a guest room, and it has a shared wall to her parents' room. And she brings that up in conversation, like, I can't believe it. And I kind of felt that was interesting because it's like, how many people in this world can expect to be in a home without a shared wall to another bedroom? Like, most bedrooms have shared walls. Definitely rich people, and definitely there are bedrooms that, like you can have ones in between, but like, don't you guys think that too? Maybe not the master. Like, I mean, I don't know. But I feel like I'm talking in American terms. French terms, yeah, the bedrooms have shared walls most of the time. I don't know if she's just so American now. She's like, some sort of like, she sounds like, this is what it is. She sounds like a Texan or my dad, who is just so used to space that his their bodies are used to more space, and the idea of being in less space is so foreign that it's like, how is it feasible for other people? But in fact, it is all the time. So they recount, for some reason, the solo parenting conversation. And we've been thinking it's been done because they had it, they traveled, they got there. And it seems like since they are now on French soil, they should just, say la vie. I don't, they should just, move on, honey, keep it rolling. And he's been already saying Je suis désolé, which is I'm sorry. And at the same time, though, we do get Anthony in a confessional say very much that he is just expressing how he feels and she's invalidating it. And when he said that in the confessional, I had like a jolt, kind of like how I have jolts that rainy days are on the horizon and I will soon have a comfort night in. I had a jolt that they're already broken up because the way he said it was in a kind of I've come to the other side of realizing how little this person respected me or respects me, and how this person has talked to me and how I have allowed it, and how I can call it out and know it by name, and how I can't stand for it anymore. The way his tone said it made it feel like he has come on the other side of finding it excusable or like justifiable. Now, maybe I'm putting that on him, but you can tell me. Um, yeah, this thing is basically him obviously being like, I did a lot of the work or whatever, and her being like, yeah, because I made all of the money, which is a kind of normal, if not textbook conversation to be had in relationships with kids specifically also. And then we jump to another part that we've heard before, I feel like specifically in kind of like heteronormative traditional relationships, on how the breadwinner is upset that the caregiver only cares to caregive to the child and doesn't look at the breadwinner as their spouse, sexual, affection needing, like intimate wanting spouse. It's like, yeah. I hate to say it's like we've known that, like we've heard tropes over the years of like men yelling at women about that, and women just being like, yes, I fucking do everything. I can't like cater to you or whatever, but like it feels kind of a similar situation. Now, she's literally being like, you don't ever want to touch me, you're not affectionate, and he doesn't say she's wrong. Later on, he's like, I love her. It's the furthest thing from truth. So he acquiesces that he could be better. But he acquiesces a lot. He's king of bending over. She's queen of asking for someone to bend over. Oh, well, you know, you just move on in your thought pattern. Just pretend I didn't say that, or pretend I did say it and then make whatever innuendo you want to make in your mind. And know that if you're making that innuendo, it's you and not me. But also, if you are making that innuendo, maybe I put it there. So, in the next morning, no one has slept. Ben sort of like laid himself perpendicular, I guess, to the bed. And then everyone had to like find a space in between. And, obviously we know it's a small bed. We're thinking probably a full, like it's a double size. Um, she hasn't slept, but she did think all not all night long, and she softened to the idea of the fact that she saw the happiness and warmth and love that radiated from her mom in seeing Ben and being able to spend time with Ben. And then she sort of was like, well, maybe this isn't such a bad idea. And this is where you're like, okay, can you go one step further and be like, so I will be cognizant and be accountable to my negative viewpoints and outlook and try from this point on to see how other people are viewing the situation and maybe where there's some positivity. But she doesn't. Um, don't worry. She's an interesting character and perfect for reality television in that I think that she is unaware and also opinionated and maybe has some, ego and or blindness that just this is why I can't ever be on reality television because the truth of the matter is I don't want to blame her. I think that at some part of us, most people are a little bit Manan. Like we all have, and I think I do too. Maybe I don't want to put this on you, but fine. I have the parts of me that are sort of monstrous. And I feel like if there was a light shown on me with a camera and a microphone, and you put me in the situation that you knew would require me to show my monstrosity, I would. And it would be very genuine. And in the moment, I would think that I probably wasn't wrong or was just fine or had been trampled on or had been a victim of, like, and then that would air and then people would tell me what the fuck they thought, and it would be really devastating and eye-opening. Yeah. At the same time, I want to be on Traders, but she's going through it, so my heart is out to her. But definitely, people are like, "Who? What's happening? Why are you screaming all the time? Why can't you kind of sit with a certain amount of silence and like reflection before you talk? What's happening? It feels like you are just always on the attack." Always attacking. And in that, we can decipher that there's a certain amount of trauma or pain that that person is pushing down and then on to like make sure that that goes down, we are getting like a adverse reaction. I mean, it really only harms her because of like things like stress levels and the sort of unspoken horrible ramifications of stress in our lives from like bad sleep to what our adrenals do to like high blood pressure to cancer. It's just all that stuff. It's like when we allow, and I really am speaking to myself too, when we allow our trauma to just constantly rev our nervous system in a way that does no one good, not anyone that loves you, and you not either, not you. And there's no reason to. In the end, you'll find yourself alone and probably unhealthy at an age you should still be healthy at because it's the wear and tear on your spirit and your soul and your nervous system. You can't see it, but it's there, so I just, gravity blankets, sound meditation, anti-anxiety drugs. I mean, just do what you nature hikes, do what you got to do. I don't know, ketamine. Okay, I haven't done ketamine. I've done most other things though, that I said, especially the nature hikes. So at one point, we see that Anthony has Ben playing with Ben. She goes to the garage for like what doesn't feel like a real good reason. And she also lets it be known that one moment of contention with Anthony is that during the parenting process that he feels he does by himself, that she would be like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Well, can I do this? Should I do that? Can you tell me what to do?" And he'd be like, "Can you just do like what needs to be done by being present in the moment, putting your focus not on you, but on the other people in the space. Take a breath, see what they need, and see how to be of service to the situation." Like, and that is a really hard thing for someone to hear and or say, but here, if their attention is on themselves, well, me, what am I not doing? What am I doing? Because the problem is if you are in your head about that, you don't know what to do because you aren't present and paying attention to see there's a crying baby. I wonder if that baby needs a diaper. Oh, I see that the diaper that the baby is wearing is hanging low. I can go get a diaper. I'm not going to ask Anthony, should I change his diaper? I'll just fucking change the diaper. I don't know if that's it, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's a very interesting thing. Even in this moment, I'm like, well, if you're in France, like, why aren't you holding Ben? Is it that Ben won't let you hold him? I don't know. It's also interesting because half of me is like, Anthony's always holding Ben when Ben is awake, and then often when Ben is passed out. And so I'm like, are we seeing also Anthony being codependent on Ben? Because and this is like not anything they've said yet, but are we seeing someone who might be codependent on the person that is giving them love and attention and who needs them and who makes them feel good, valid, warranted, of value? And he holds Ben, like, when Ben's already asleep and you can just put your baby down in a way that, like, gives them both comfort, but further subconsciously or consciously isolates her from him. Like, I just found that's I don't know. They just keep and the editors and the camera people keep showing, obviously, Ben and Anthony just an arm in arm. Okay, so let's move on to Johnny and Chloe. So we start with white roses and weird sounds. It almost feels like they want us to think, which I really hate for us, that they're having sex. You know what I'm saying? But the weird sounds are just Johnny doing plank work. I mean, he's doing the kind of plank work that I do in a Pilates mat class. It's like plank, it's picking up one arm, it's like dipping to the side, and it's good. I mean, like it looks of good form. And it made me also like low key be like, I should be doing that. It's always I'll say this. The ability to find really easy exercises to do at home with basically no equipment is prolific. There's a lot. Now, obviously, you have to have some semblance of form. Like you cannot do a plank with your like ass in the air, and you can't do a plank with your like stomach hanging down and therefore like doing a pelvic tilt, like almost like you're trying to stand like Kylie Jenner. You know what I'm saying? You have to maintain a really strong line. But beyond that, if you just did plank work every day for like 20 minutes or less, you really could. And I'm talking to myself, Chris, get to a level of strength that will not only help your posture, but help in everyday life, from like picking up things to like squatting to things to being able to like lift things. So I was really proud of him. Johnny has some really great qualities. And then he has some qualities that I feel like a little bit of a dreamer. And I understand that. But at the same time, I think that Chloe's going to be the lesson that he learns. And I also think that in a way, Johnny will be for that for Chloe. But here we are. So, um, they didn't bone last night, so that's why we got those weird noises to make us think that they were having sex, when in fact they didn't. She was tired. But she is proud to say that she unpacked a bag. Not the big one, the small one. Now, this part is to make us feel like she's immature or she can't do anything. But at the same time, I think that's fine. She just got there. She unpacked one bag. It takes me so long to unpack a bag. I just hate it. But anyway, fine. Now, here's the part that's really weird. She's like, I'm really hungry. He's like, great. Time to make some boiled eggs. Now, she doesn't know how to use the stove. And we find out it's because the stove is gas. And she finds a gas stove to be wildly foreign. Now, I have a gas stove. In life, I've used gas stoves and electric stoves. The majority of every home I've been in has been a gas stove. The electric stoves, most of the time, have been like in Europe, or like one time on a boat. I didn't use it, but like, like obviously on a boat, you see an electric stove. All this to say, why has she never, ever worked a gas stove? They're they're pretty common. They are common. They are the commonest. They are very common. It's like shocking. It was shocking to me. She doesn't is scared of it. She's like, "How do you put it on?" Now, the minute she put it on and she didn't push it down, and she's like, "I just hear it. I smell the gas, or I hear the gas." We were like, "Well, you're gonna start smelling it too, bitch." And they better tell her, "Nope, you better turn that off." He comes and he helps her how to do it, and she's like, "Okay, thanks." At the same time, I need to tell him he needs new pans. At one point, I see his frying pan on the side scraped silver, honey. There's none of that Teflon left, honey. No non-stick. It sticks. Um, she, they get the egg rolling and but not the water a boiling. And so very fast she feels dumb and she's like, "Well, how long has it been? Has it been 7 minutes yet?" And he's like, "Girl, it's not even boiling yet." But interesting. Think it's funny, but we certainly have, as a society, have all settled on the fact that 7 minutes is the perfect egg cooking time. We all agree, 7-minute egg. It feels that way. I can't imagine like going to a restaurant and seeing like 9-minute egg. Anyway, I feel like I see 7 minutes in front of an egg a lot. Like they were, everyone was so proud, and also it just feels so like NASA or something. The timing of having to get a perfect 7-minute egg. Do you guys do that? Do I do that? I don't do that. I don't. I need to make more hard boiled eggs. I think the way that someone told me how to make hard boiled eggs, isn't it that you're just supposed to put eggs in water, boil the water, then the minute the water boils, you turn it off and then you put the lid on and just let the egg sit there? Well, I don't know. Okay, my last couple, and I want to say my last as it's not your last too. It is our last couple, is Greta and Hazel. Just kidding, it's Greta and Matthew, but obviously Hazel has a huge, beautiful part in this story, and hopefully not the end. But let's talk about it. What also we're going to talk about is Greta's absolute love affair with a smocked, blousy, sleeved, almost Hill House. You know, I own them style peasant dress. She loves them. She loves glasses and that dress. And I get it. Very fucking comfortable. Very fucking comfortable. But she has to, in this episode, say goodbye to Hazel, who we know is her cat. Her cat that she has been fostering, I'm sorry, she's been living with, she has been taking care of. It's been her cat for like 2 years, not the entirety of Hazel's like 14-year life, um, but doing a very beautiful, diligent mother job of taking care of Hazel. And Hazel can't go to England because it's a small house and there's other dogs there, and Hazel's old. And there's other cats and dogs at Matthew's parents' house. But at the same time, she is hoping for the possibility of bringing Hazel out once they move into their new apartment. And once that was brought up again, it made me realize why she was a little on fucking Matthew's junk about whether he had looked at apartments before she got there. Remember how I was like, "Girl, why? Like, why don't you just like wait until you like get there?" And it's because I think that's how much she wants Hazel there. So I think she was like, "Oh God, I'm so scared to go, especially without Hazel. I know it would make me feel better if the love of my life, Matthew, knew how important it was for me to have Hazel with me and therefore took a huge priority in his life to make sure that he found an apartment as soon as possible. Matthew, have you?" And Matthew was like, again, like, "Remember, no girl, remember, I'm busy." She was like, "Oh." I hate to laugh, but by the way, love Greta and Matthew. And they are the only couple I truly care about, especially their love and their future. I want the best for them. In a mild way, I feel like their kind of like obsessive nerdiness and their love of cats and kind of the way that they are being filmed gives me like love on the spectrum a little bit, but that's totally fine. And I'm believe me, into it, especially because they feel really also genuine and sincerely in love in a relationship. This is the opposite of Madeline and Luke, right? This is like people who like care about each other. Like, anyway, so we have to watch Greta, I mean, say goodbye to Hazel as her friends, Madison and Cameron, come over. And one thing she says about Hazel, which I really loved, is that she's like, "Look, Hazel's lived a life. She's lived outside. She's had kittens. At this point now, and this is what she tells Madison and Cameron, like, "Hazel just wants to be held all the time and just hold, hugged, held, picked up. It's what she deserves. She's done enough." Um, I have an absolute warmth in my heart for someone's undying either passion and or sensitivity. Like, there is such a warmth that can be, like, sprung in the eyes of someone who is watching someone else being sensitive or passionate about something. So, I mean, who doesn't love Greta? Greta's the fucking best. I, like, can't even imagine Greta being on, like, a 90-day tell-all stage, like, with Madeline. Like, don't want that for Greta. Like, I don't want her to hear Madeline scream. Like, I feel like they deserve their own, like, special tell-all with Suki, like, in a beautiful cream room, and there's, like, cats. Could be at a cat cafe. Greta should work at a cat cafe. I mean, I know that she went to law school, and believe me, I think that she should, do the animal advocacy, but remember how she can't actually, like, do anything in England because she can't be a barrister because it costs too much money, blah, 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 blah. What is the cat cafe scene happen in the UK? Is it a big thing? I think it should be, right? Because from my knowledge, cat cafes, I hope I'm right, started in Japan. And in West Hollywood, there is one. So it's in America. So, and I know that them UK people love cats. They love them. They love them. So yeah, I wonder, but because they love them, I wonder if there's, like, cafes to hang out with them or if they're just so prevalent in the town, especially amongst, like, the cobblestoney kinda towns in the UK, which I'm assuming is, like, cat country, that they're just roaming around all the time, and so it's like, well, every cafe is a cat cafe. I mean, isn't that how it is in Greece and Italy? You can really tell me I haven't traveled in a long time, but I see pictures and there's, like, cats in cafes outdoors. Anyway, moving on, I think that Greta should get some sort of, job quick that involves cats for her to be able to touch the fur that she loves so much. I also do kind of love how equal her, if not more, Greta's love is for cats than it is Matthew. Like, I do think that Greta loves Matthew definitely more than any other. I'm so sorry, wait 1 second. Okay. Definitely more than any other person that she has, like, shared her soul with, but there's a part of me that's like, I think that she appreciates in Matthew just how safe he makes her feel, but I do feel like the love of her life is Hazel. Um, so another interesting tidbit, and they laid this out, and then I picked it up, and I wanted to bring it to your attention, is that when she finally obviously leaves and she gets a lovely driver, Brian, who has a red tie, black outfit, red tie, and, what a look, you know what I'm saying? It's like, are you like a magician? This also could be like a fancy bartender. Is this like a pianist where you also maybe could also play the devil? Like, it's just like it's such an interesting outfit. So, but Brian is doing all the work to ask her all the questions to do what he needs to do, which is like set up this scene for her to get on a plane. And she tells Brian that she has not set a date yet for the wedding because she doesn't know if it's going to work out. Low key, she is moving there for the first time. She hasn't ever lived with him yet. And you can't, which is true. Um, it's hard to understand whether that's going to be a workable situation before you live with them. And Brian is like, uh-huh, totally, girl, absolutely. Which is funny because obviously this is the antithesis of like a Tiger Lily who's like, I'm going to move there and it's going to be great. Oh, and then now he's going to move back here and I'm just going to marry him immediately. No, this is what she said. Sorry. She's like, I'm going to get there, marry him immediately, and then he's going to move here without thinking about it, without living together, without thinking about whether this is a feasible union, which on the streets, my loves, they've announced their separation. Now, you got to think everything 2 steps ahead. We have to understand that we are in a world with a cycle, and the cycle of 90-day fiance is like before the 90 days, 90 days, or the other way would also be this, then happily ever after, or what now? Remember that? And then last resort. And then now we're going to get into when they're singles again. Like, this is the circle of life that we are being imprinted on. And all that to say, Tiger Lily and Adnan's statement of separation could be indicative of a last resort casting. Because we have to be smart. And we have to know how to play a game. And I'm only saying that, I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but I also want people to be educated. I need people to be educated, especially when you have a quote unquote toxic couple. When I say like that, couple, they are, right? Like Adnan and Tiger Lily are, to me, willfully playing with toxic themes that are meant to be provocative in order to get people to talk about them, and they are completely conscious of it. And so, since I've already told you that's what I think, to me, this very public display of like separation, which even what does that mean? Which is like a long statement and a beautiful picture of her and her family, like, pregnant, to me means that we should be like on pins and needles to see what she's going to do, if she's going to escape the wretched clutches of a intensely fundamentalist man. Like you're like, oh, we're supposed to care deeply about that. When we've known that she's picked it the entire time because she's older than him and she had been married. So she like knows, what I'm saying? So like what also is interesting is that off camera, we had seen her like go from not wanting to wear a hijab to like in her Instagram wearing hijabs to now being like the separation. So it almost does feel like at some point there is high level producers that just like track out season after season like a master storyline. And I hate to say it, I'd be great at that. No one would be better. I mean, that's like my life. Planning other people's lives while I just watch it from TV, watch it from TV is what I said. Watch it from my couch on TV. That is the end of the episode, my babes. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Please comment on this video so you can get notifications. Hit the bell. Also, follow me on all your social medias. I'm at Chris L. Farah on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm on Substack. I'm doing the things that the social media people need us to do. So make sure you go and support me is what I wanted to say. Support me. Because it's like subscribe and support at the same time. Like you say that word. If you in your mind wanted to say subscribe and support, how would you do it? Well, you would trip over your mouth like you did. But yeah, so all of that. And of course, I have my Facebook group, Vanity Farah. I always post the links when I'm going to go live days in advance because I have no idea if YouTube does that. That's why I'm like, hit the notification bell. I don't understand what YouTube does for you to let you know when I've either scheduled a live or when I've actually gone live or when I've put up a video like I did yesterday, where of course I did the season 20 premiere of Sister Wives. But this time I did the entire recap, not live like what I just did, but recorded with a co-host, and that co-host is Amy Archer of Little Miss Recap, and she's amazing. She's also a Sister Wives nut, knows a lot, has been watching all the other stuff like Special Forces and all this stuff. So that was a really fun video to do with her because obviously we're nerdy. It'd be like if I got to talk to Greta about cats, which I can't do. I hate cats. Not only do I not like the animal, I mean, they're fine. It's not that I don't like cats. They're fine. Dogs are superior. But I also don't like the musical cats. So it's fun to say. I hate cats. I'm going to end the actual recap now and then listen to you guys. Just wait to see what you guys want to say. If you have any last thoughts of what's happening in your lives, but obviously, thank you guys so much for listening and being with me as I talk about this. Oh, good. I still get emails after you post a video, but text notifications for lives. After you post a video but text notifications for live. So yeah, when I've scheduled a live, you get the notification, or when I actually go live. Like, I'm trying to pre-schedule the lives by Sunday so that on Tuesday we know exactly what time. But I also don't know if like when I actually hit live, if there's another notification that goes out. It's always so confusing. But yeah, if you haven't, please go ahead and comment after the video gets uploaded, which always helps. I need like algorithm tickling. It's like, there's like those cuddle parties. Basically, this entire world needs to be touched. Not just Manan, but all of us, turns out, need to be touched desperately. And so, people do cuddle parties just to be touched. And not only do I physically need to be touched, but absolutely my algorithm needs constant poking. The last time I don't know that. Hello? Well, this is a live. Here, I'll post it just in case I get killed right now. Coming. Thank you. I'm fine. Remember this one time? This happened once before on a live. Like, Marie, were you here when I had to answer a door on a live and we were like, is this the end for me? And by the way, like, hardly anyone ever knocks on my door. Not ever. Not ever. Only when I'm live. And also, rarely do I get like, rarely do I get packages. But I forgot. This package came so fast. I got into this is the last thing I'll talk about because I know it's boring. I got into doing my hair curly. Like, that's my thing now. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to do my hair curly. And I was given a sea salt spray by someone. They were like, oh, use this product or whatever. And I was like, okay. And the minute I used it, it worked so well. It's not what's on my hair right now. I only have like a curl serum on my hair. So right now my hair is really soft and like, it's not like perfectly wavy. It's more like, whatever. It's fun. Anyway, the sea salt spray my friend let me borrow ended up being like this magic formula. It is a sea salt spray, makes your hair curly. It also adds tact and volume in a way that is unbelievable. And also, I love it when you spray underneath like these hairs become like little baby coils. It's adorable. It's called like California Born. That's what the package was. That's what came, my California Born, because I need the curl products. Once I got a hit of the curl products, honey, I can't go anywhere else. You better give me that curl product. So, yeah. So basically, yeah, I've enjoyed doing my hair curly now. It's fun to do in multiple ways. Like today I washed my hair, did my hair curly. It's not a big deal. It's not the greatest. It just is like daytime, like wavy. But if I sleep on it, which is what's going to happen, and tomorrow, if I wanted to wear it curly again, then I would put that sea salt spray on it and I would just recrunch it and scrunch it. I have to put a lot on, but then it would be coily, like big poofy, like glam curls. I mean, I don't even understand. Oh, you have the same lounge hoodie? Please post on your FB group about it. Are you talking about the lounge hoodie or about this product? Yeah. You know where I think I got this lounge hoodie? I'm 99% sure I got this from Costco. I got it from Costco. I got it in gray and I got it in navy. And I love it. It is literally, I mean, this is obviously not sponsored. I wish it was. Oh, the hair product. Okay. Up. I can't think of it. Yeah, this is from Costco and it's a full body hoodie dress. It's just the dumbest hoodie dress. Like, look. You can put your phone. This is the straps. It goes down to like, I mean, it's pretty long. And yeah, like, I mean, it almost like begs like why haven't there been hoodie dresses the entire time? It's also the thing about this one which I like is that it's thick. Like it's a thick material. Like it's not I think that there is a place for every kind of hoodie material. Like I get like a thin hoodie that is like really soft, like that one's really nice. This is the thick one that's really oh my god, I was going to see. What is this? The Champion, you know, maybe it's like one of the Costco brands like Champion or something like that. Yeah. I obviously am having a whole desire right now to be like fucking cozy because it really wasn't that cold today in Los Angeles, but it was cold enough. It was cold enough where the minute that I was like, I can be in something super soft and then just like put my legs up and just like, I did. I did. I never knew such a thing existed. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Hi, hi. I never knew it existed either, but I think it's so stupid and simple, like that. It had to have. It can't just have come out. Like there had to have been hoodie dresses before, but specifically the cut of this one is quite nice. The thickness of the material makes it, um, like not hideous because it's like structured. But again, you know, you should know one thing about me is that the minute, and it happened like 20 years ago, that they started coming out with like cozy things to put on to watch TV in, like the first Snuggie. I've had every iteration of like a Snuggie, or you put it, there's a button that you put around, or it's a sweatshirt that's really big, or like I have them all, in fact. Um, It's how much I desire pleasure. It's how much I avoid discomfort that it became like a part of my personality. People would buy me like the newest version for birthdays and stuff like that. Because the other day was like a billion of them. And I still like it. I also think it's just my last thing I'll say about this. And obviously I keep saying the last thing and then I keep talking, which is its own kind of like nightmare. You know how you have to have like an inside outfit? It's a great inside outfit. Like you can just take off what the fuck you wore on the outdoors that like got all germ covered. Put on the comfiest, coziest, big ass hoodie dress, honey. Feel like you're at the Met Gala. Anyway, I am going to go to watch the WNBA playoffs and I'm going to eat something. Who knows what it's going to be. Now, thank you guys so much for being here and talking to me. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was so lovely to have some fun peeps give their opinions. Anyway, so coming up on the agenda, Love is Blind. I am super excited to do that. And has anyone been watching the Love is Blind in France? That's what I wanted to ask you guys. Those two things also very interesting to me. So, coming up on the agenda, DocuSweeties is covering the rest of HEA. I'm going to be on Little Miss Recap's show next week, which I'm super excited about. So make sure that you go to their Instagram if you watch the Sister Wives recap and be like, Chris sent me here. It'll be great. Also, yeah, make sure if you haven't yet watched the Sister Wives video, if you watch Sister Wives, watch that because, obviously, since it's a premiere episode, we get to talk about just everything. Everything that got us here. All right, my loves. Have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday Eve, and I will talk to you later. Thank you again. Okay, bye.